with you, Tom, because the reports are that Frimpong to Liverpool is pretty much done. It's a matter of time. You have triggered the release clause. Personal terms are not going to be an issue. How happy are you with the imminent arrival of Jeremie Frimpong to Liverpool?
Very happy. Very happy. You know, we're losing one of the best right backs on the planet. We're getting in someone who I think is a sign that we're going to commit to a more attacking structure. I think we're going, if you look at Frimpong, there's a really big positive with him, that he's incredible going forwards, probably one of the best attacking fullbacks, or I'll use the term wing backs, one of the best attacking wing backs on the planet. The concern is not the greatest defensively. That to me is that we're going to give him license to go forwards. I've been saying for a couple of weeks now, the way Arne Slot goes on about it in press conferences, I think he wants to take a lot of inspiration from PSG and the way PSG played against us and have played this year. And a key element of PSG's game is how high up they push their right back Hakimi. Now, Frimpong isn't as good as Hakimi, but Frimpong does have a skill set akin to Hakimi, where he's a lot better in and around the final third, and that's where you want him to be getting on the ball. I think it's a big move. It's a good value deal. You know, 30 million quid nowadays is very cheap.
Peanuts.
You know, with some of the prices that get thrown around for certain players, you know, 30 million quid for a right back who has got, I think he's got like 30 odd goal contributions in the last 2 seasons, been part of a team that's just went invincible, or not just went, but the year before went invincible. You know, he's got a pedigree about him. He knows some of our players. He clearly wants to come and play for the football club. But I think it's a really positive deal. And it's not a player who's going to come in and take every single minute away from Conor Bradley. It's good to get Frimpong in, but I do want to make sure that Conor Bradley's still getting the game time that he needs to develop, because I do think you've got a guy there who can develop into one of the best all-round fullbacks on the planet, but you just need to make sure you're not stifling his growth. So I think it's a really, really smart deal for the price as well. And let's say, for argument's sake, it doesn't work out. I can at least make me money back in a year or two. There'll be a club out there who plays a back five who goes, you know what, we want the Frimpong that was at Leverkusen. So it's a low risk, high reward deal potentially, and it's a classic Liverpool deal. It's the kind of deal that we were putting together back in the heyday when Michael Edwards was here the first time. Now he's back, and this is the first real sign that he's made, because, you know, Chiesa, I don't even know if Chiesa is allowed to turn up to Anfield anymore. It's who knows if he's allowed in matchday squads now. So the first real signing that we've made under this new regime, it's a throwback to the years where we had the real success. So I'm very excited for it. I'm really, really excited for it. I hope it's just the start, and I hope he's not the only guy that we signed from Bayer Leverkusen. But it's a good start. It's a good start that we can build off this window.
Yeah, I think it's for £30 million. I think it's an absolute steal. Yeah, if he even, like you said, if he has one bad year, you could quite easily sell him for 45, 50 million. So anyone who plays a back three, get into Milan will be all over it. You know, he's what you said there about the PSG thing as well. They've probably got the best fullback duo in European football.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you bring in Aït-Nouri or Marlos Kerkez or someone like that, because I think Robertson is a little bit past it now. There's no reason why with the midfield you've got to essentially not copy, but have a very similar style to PSG. Plus, if you get an injury to Salah, Frimpong can play as a winger.
Mm-hmm.
He's done it for the Netherlands. And he's got 72 GA in 190 games, which is just ridiculous. That's like most number 10s, like output. He's ridiculous for 30 million quid. Like, that's cheaper than we pay for Pedro Porro. Like,
and you know what? You can finally stop trying to sell me Pedro Porro.
It's not over the line yet.
You just to sit there and go, "Oh, you need a right back. I got one here." You can't sell them to me anymore. I'm sure United could do with one or something, but not me anymore.
But yeah, well, to be fair, Pedro Porro stepped up the last couple of weeks. Like, them over the top through balls, they're a killer. But yeah, I mean, it's £30 million. It's fantastic business. I do think you'll have a really good window. I think you'll go all out for someone. I can see who's the guy from Lyon. I can see you going and getting Rayan. I can't remember his surname is now.
What, Cherky?
Yeah, I think that's got Edwards all over.
It costs like 20 though. So again, you keep that money free for that. I think that if he says he wants to leave Germany, I think we're going to do everything in our power to get Florian Wirtz. I really do.
Well, this is the thing about the Wirtz that we'll come back. We'll come back to Wirtz in a minute. But Gal, what were you going to say about the deal, mate? About Frimpong?
You're on mute.
It's the best opinion Gal's given in a while.
I know it's incredible.
Be excited. Be excited about his attacking input, but the system it might need to be tweaked slightly because you've said it yourself. He's not really a right back. He might struggle in a back four, playing predominantly as a right wing back. He does get majority of his goals from playing in the right wing back position and not really as a right back. If you put him in the back four, he could be exposed, especially the fact that he's quite light and defense and the physicality of the Premier League might be a struggle for him too. He hasn't played in the Premier League. We have to wait and see. Obviously, he could absolutely light it up. But in my opinion, I think, as you guys have said, this could be a player. If he works out, it'll most likely be against teams lower down the table. You're not gonna be able to play him in some of these big games because he's gonna get exposed, and you're gonna need to find. He's going to be almost like a gadget player, somebody who comes in and helps you win some of these games where you play teams that are going to be defending for 90 minutes. But when you go up against the big teams or you go up against major competition in Europe, he could get really exposed. So it's not like Trent where people criticize Trent defensively, but Jeremie Frimpong defends less than Trent. Like he doesn't do as much defensive work as Trent.
He doesn't do as much though. But I was looking at some of the numbers earlier, just the numbers.
His numbers aren't too bad.
He doesn't do as much defending. That is true because of the role. Sometimes he was. This is the thing. It's hard to look at totality of tackles attempted because there's been many a game this season for Bayer Leverkusen where he's been deployed as like a number sort of 10 or as one of the attackers. So therefore he's not doing it. But his passing accuracy, the ground passing is remarkably, I didn't think it would be 6% better. His long passing accuracy is 2% better. But he completes more take-ons. He wins 35% of his aerial duels defensively versus Trent only winning 18%. He wins slightly less ground duels, but you're only talking Trent winning 49%, him winning 45%. They both win the same percentage of tackles. Every tackle they both attempt, they both win the same amount, the same percentage. They both complete similar amount of interceptions. There isn't, again, on paper, and I haven't watched Frimpong as much as I've watched Trent. I don't think you're getting a massively poorer defensive version of Trent, who, let's be honest, last 18 months aside, isn't great defensively. I don't necessarily think it's this big downgrade people are making it out to be. When you watch him play, when you look at the numbers, yes, he's not Gary Neville. He's not an elite fullback. We all know that. But he's competent. He's very, very good. So I think, I don't know what you think, Kate, on this, but like £30 million as well. Sorry, 30 million euros. It almost feels illegal.
Illegal. Well, he's going to Liverpool. Let's be fair. If we're going to talk about
there it is. There it is. He set it up and you finished it right in the corner.
Just for anyone who's triggered, Kate, like me, is from a Povo background. Therefore, she can take the piss out of other Povos.
Correct.
That is how the insult hierarchy works. Remember that. Back to you, Kate.
Exactly that. No, look, I don't know whether I agree with Igor. I think it's going to be a case of waiting and seeing how he does. I don't know whether he'll get exposed or what yet. I think, like you say, it's a low risk, high reward potentially. And I know Henry said that he's got 72 goal contributions. I read 74. So one of us is two goals out.
Okay, still 74.
I hope Kate's right then. I hope Kate's right. I want more goal contributions. I want as many as possible.
Kate, when it comes to counting, we all know we're backing Kate over Henry. Like,
yeah, thanks.
Henry can only count to 20 if he's wearing sandals. He has to use his hands and his toes. Do you know what I mean? So he needs sandals on to do it. So
I'm sure this Frimpong thing is probably more business than Spurs are going to do. So I'm jealous already.
Have you guys ever seen a window just quickly where we might see 7 or 8 deals done the day the window opens?
Well, there's 2 windows. You could be right. I mean, look, Cunha to Man United looks like it's all but there. We'll get onto Gyökeres in a bit, but a lot of the international press make it sound like it's far down the line. There's the Frimpong deal, the Wirtz situation. There's also a lot of early buyout clauses for players that are only open for a period. I think there's this little bit as well that we're all not really talking about. I was driving back from Manchester today thinking about tonight's show, and you've got that mini window that opens before the World Club Cup. Now, of course, City and Madrid and Chelsea are going to try and buy in that period. But if they're going after one of your targets, then you are going to have to buy him in that period, which I think speeding up. I think it's going to be a massive window anyway. But you are right, Henry. I think there's going to be a lot. I mean, Howson, he's gone Madrid now. It's done, basically, isn't it? They've triggered the release clause. And that's mad, really, because a week ago, all the noise was, actually, he looks like he's going to stay in England. And then Madrid just went, nah, bruv. And they just took him. Gone. Finish.
No, but it always made sense, Terry. Really and truly, if they weren't going to get Saliba this summer, they're going to have to move fast for somebody, and he's the only player that's like Spanish. He's already fits the height, physicality. He's shown it at the top level, playing in the Premier League with Bournemouth. So he comes into that team and helps them right away, and it meets their quota of what they are looking for: youth, defender that has quality, height, and all the physicality needed to become a top centre back. I rate the signing for them, but it also makes me happy that it tells me that Arsenal's being serious and they don't want to get rid of Saliba yet.
I mean, it's also the case of Real Madrid or the Devil's Club, and they know Saliba's contract is expiring within the next 2 years, so they're not going to pay a fee anyway. They'll just sit there and get in his ear and go, "Listen, lad, run that contract down."
Hey, you be careful with Konate. Don't worry about Saliba.
Yeah, I am. I'll sell Konate this summer, so I'm not doing it again. I'm not doing another year of this shit with that Devil Club from Spain.
So if you were to sell Konate, who do you think
PSG is buying?
Who, sorry?
PSG is buying.
Yeah. You know, Jonathan Tar's got like 15 clubs after him, including Real Madrid. He's available on a free. Would you take Jonathan Tar?
Kind of slow.
He's not bad. I mean, with Hoyden off the table, I kind of have to widen my horizon. So if I looked into him, I might do. But he's like near on 30, isn't he? I think I kind of want a younger one. I kind of want a younger one.
Would Liverpool and Everton ever do direct transfers with each other?
We looked at Branthwaite last season, but they just wanted too much money. And I think the only way it would have happened is if their takeover hadn't happened and they were in real financial trouble. Right now, they've got enough of a strong point to where they can
very unlikely,
kind of accept
very unlikely
that they can stop us from paying anything because they don't need the money.
Yeah.